Courtship is designed to persuade into marriage. There is no thinking about it. And the major question for me here is that where in the Bible is it written that you should court? Where in the Bible is courtship even written as a prescription for marriage? It is nowhere. It is not in the Bible that you should court. No. The Bible only describes the Jewish tradition, which is betrothal. Now, to be betrothed simply means to be engaged. So, today, yes, I have bantered for 3 minutes. Today, I had a victory this week. You know what? I have to share this testimony with you guys. I have to share this with you. About a month and a half ago, going to 2 months, a mother reached out to me. She called me and told me that she has been looking for her daughter for 8 years. Her daughter went to school and she just did not find the daughter again. She was in 200 level. I think it's, is it Tai Sholari or Abeokuta? It's in Ogun State, Sha. And that she had been looking for her daughter for 8 years. That at times someone would tell her that they saw her around here, she would rush there, and next thing, you know, it would all be a hoax. But that someone just called her and said that, are you so and so? And she said, yes. Is so and so your daughter? She said, yes. It was a foreign number, and he said, your daughter is at so hospital, that she should go there. So hospital where? A foreign number told her where it was, and she ran there and saw her daughter live and direct in the hospital. She just lost it, you know. I think she now went to get the police. She didn't understand what was happening. Suddenly, the daughter that was in 200 level, 8 years after, she saw that the daughter had 3 children. And there was a mysterious guy. She found out that the guy attended the same church with them. And it was the same guy from their church that abducted this girl, because, you know, my church member now, and took her to places within the border, like very, very far in Ikorodu at the borderline. That was where he would keep her. He kept her for 8 years. From there, went to Ekpe by the borderline. So what happened was that the man used to beat this girl to an extent in Ekpe that the neighbors gathered together and went to call the police. They don't know, you know, he locks her in. They don't really know, but they know that this man always beats they will say it's his wife, and they went to call the police. The police came, arrested the guy, said he should open the door, found the girl with 3 children. They took to the police station. It was when they were now trying to get the information. They now found out that this girl had been missing. They had been looking for her for 8 years. I think that was when somebody now called the mother. Long and short, the guy jumped bail, now took the last son and disappeared. So this girl, the girl, if you saw her, she had been maltreated, she had shrunk, the guy had beaten her, knocked off her front tooth, all that. So when she got across to me, it was, please, the girl is going crazy because they can't find the last child. So, I took up the challenge, I took up the matter, and went to state CID, sent, information to various police formations, and we've been looking for the guy, but the guy was too smart. Unfortunately, we now Googled the guy's name and saw that this same guy had been imprisoned in the US, in the United States. Yes, he was just released from prison in the United States and came back to Nigeria, and then went to church and waited for his right time, found a girl in church. The girl said, how did you even start talking to him? She said they know him, that he's in church, that day she was going to school, she just branched and to church. Her money wasn't complete, and she stood, she just saw him, and they were someone that they see in church, and she said her money is remaining 500 naira. The guy said, okay, let me give you 500 naira. That 500 naira that he gave her, that was where the whole thing started. She went to school. The guy now said, call me when you get to school, I want to make sure that you arrived in school. So the girl called when she got to school. Thank you, sir, that I'm now in school. And the guy now started calling and calling. Then one day he now says she should come. It was when she came, that was the last time anybody saw her. He just took her somewhere. But the girl came, the thing there, my testimony, let me leave the girl's story, is, we now tracked, when we couldn't get him, he evaded all kinds of, the way he never went back home. He doesn't have any contact. He doesn't have anybody, there was nobody, nowhere to track him to. So, I suggested that, well, if you have money, there are tracking companies, we can track the number. They tracked the number that he gave, that she had, and found out that the number was registered to another woman. He did not register the number by himself, so it was another woman's itinerary that was showing. So the mother now started going crazy. The girl was like, her daughter, her son, the boy was 6 years old, or 4 years old. So I just said, be careful, this guy will soon make a mistake. When he makes a mistake, we will be there. And the woman kept calling me. It got to a time I said, you don't know where the man is. We don't know who the man is. Tracking, he used another name, please, you can't give me hypertension now. It is you. I told the girl, you are the one that went to follow a strange man. And for 8 years, you couldn't escape to come back home. She will not tell you how the man used to lock her, beat her, gave her a phone, removed all the numbers there. There were only 2 numbers on the phone. That's his number and his mother's number. Didn't allow her. I said, okay. Suddenly, 2 days ago, someone just called from a hotel and said that, do you know so and so? And he said, yeah. The lady said, yes. That there's a boy. The man took this boy to the hotel. He could not afford. He stayed there for about 1.5 months, going to 2 months. And he wanted to sneak out because he had used all the money. He couldn't stay in regular places because we had the police all over looking for him. So he went to this hotel in Marina. And that was where he left when, he wanted to sneak out, and they held him down because he was owing up to 150,000. So, he now told them that, okay, he's coming back. He now dropped the son at the hotel with his bag that he wanted to use the ATM. And that was how he left. They waited for him 24 hours. When, he didn't come back, the manager of the hotel got scared, now took the boy to the police station, but the boy was already falling sick. So they now opened his room to look for anything, a number, and they just saw a number. What happened? The number they saw was this, our sister's number. And the manager now called and said, hello. The number was on the paper as guarantor, as Mrs. So and so. So the man said, this must be the wife. Now called, and the child we were looking for, that's how they told where it was. They now did video call, showed her that, is this your son? We just mobilized the police. This was late at night. And, going around, we got to the hotel, got the boy, the manager of the hotel, we just rounded up everybody. But the good news is that child that we have been looking for, we found just 2 days ago. No, found yesterday, not 2 days ago. So I've been over the moon. It's not been easy. What we do is not funny. Where someone would just kidnap a whole child for 8 years, a 200 level student. Family, nobody just saw her for 8 years. Got her pregnant multiple times. But we thank God the saga is over now. So my point to everybody is that, listen, don't say because we live in the same area, we are from the same town, we are from the same village, we go to the same church, we went to the same school. Please let your guard be up. Let's leave that. It's the very good news. That really cheered me up this week when we found the boy. So today, what am I going to talk about? I want to talk about a topic, courtship and dating. The problem, why am I talking about courtship and dating? I told you that 87% of failed marriages, separations, divorces, domestic violence and abuse are from Christian marriages. I always tell you that statistic, that 1 in every 4 marriages would end in a separation or divorce by the 2nd anniversary. 1 in every 4 women will suffer domestic violence and abuse in the first year of their marriage. 87% of failed marriages are from Christian marriages. So a lot of times I address Christians, which I am one, because they have the highest rate of failed marriages in Nigeria. And I'm combining statistics with Europe. Christians too have over there account for the most failed marriages, that is Christians. But now, over the past 4 years, secular marriages have taken over. People, atheists, people that no longer believe in, Christianity and all that. But Christians, we have a problem. And that is because we do not know how to choose. Now, I was invited to a beach by a church group, and it was women only. So as I finished on the radio set, I went there that day, and I was teaching them about abuse and mistakes people make in spousal selection. It was just I think after Osinachi died. It was, I think, the week after Osinachi died. So I went to the beach. It was on the island there. And when I was talking, the head of the church guidance and I think marriage counseling was there. She would interrupt me and would say, please, let us just get something right. She would say, Christians, we court. We do Christian courtship. That is the scriptural way. We are not of the world, so we don't date like people of the world. And a couple of times on my program, some people will call and say, Christians, we do courtship, that we don't date, because courtship is the holy way, it is the Christian way. And I've always told people that the major mistakes Christians make is that they don't date. I tell them that dating is getting to know the character of a person. Fade, Shebo, how are you? Thank you for logging in. I say Christians don't date. Dating is the process of getting to know the character of a person. So when you don't get to know the character of a person, you just go and say you are in courtship. That is regardless of who they are. So you end up marrying strangers, you end up marrying abusive men and women, characters that you ought to have seen. If only you dated them, you would have seen the kind of person they are. But we go and we start with, well, I've prayed and God said this is Christian courtship. You start saying you are, this is your future partner. How? You just say, well, it is courtship we do. So I think it is time I teach people what courtship is and what dating is. So from your own self, you will now decide which is the proper way. Now, I wrote things down so that I don't go off course. There has been a fundamental problem in the description of dating and courtship, and I would address that today. First, dating and courtship are both forms of relationships. Now, I said relationships. Dating is a stage of a relationship where two people meet socially with the aim of assessing the other's suitability as a prospective partner in future. That is, we go on a date to check each and every one of, to check us out, to see if this can be, if it can work. Are we suitable? Are we compatible? That is dating. Dating is social activities, going out together. And the thing about dating is you can do it alone or with friends. That is, I come, it's also an avenue of meeting the friends of the other. I always tell people, never date in isolation. That is, you would say it's only me and him. No, you need to meet his friends, because from the friends, you would have an idea of the kind of person he is. When you meet their friends, you hear how they talk. You have an idea of the kind of person, because they say, show me your friends, and I will tell you whom you are. So dating is checking out the possibility. You are assessing the person, seeing if the person can be a prospective partner in future. You can be dating and not in a relationship, because dating is not commitment. Dating is, let's get to know each other. I would like to get to know you. Let me get to know you. We talk. I see your sense of humor. I ask you questions about I get to know where you are from, your school, That is dating. And it is purely social activities. And the beautiful thing about dating is you can do it either alone or with friends, his friends. Everybody goes out on a date. We go to the beach, we go to the mall. That is dating. With that, there is no rush. With that, you are able to choose. With that, you are not committed. That means if you see something, you can withdraw. It simply means two people exploring whether they are romantically or sexually compatible. Now, courtship is the period where a couple get to know each other prior to a possible marriage. Courtship is preceded by a proposal. That means you propose to court. Courtship traditionally begins after proposal and concludes in the celebration of a marriage. Now, this is the problem. Courtship, you don't start by getting to know the person. Courtship, you start by telling the person you want to get married. So the issue is that you don't know the person. Courtship begins when a single man approaches a single woman. That is traditionally, courtship begins when a single man approaches a single woman through the father, and then conducts his relationship under the authority of the father. That is traditionally. That relationship is conducted under a higher authority, which could be the father, the church, or the family, whichever is most appropriate. But courtship has marriage as its goal. Now, this is the problem. Courtship is designed to persuade someone to marry. So when you say you are in courtship, they are taking away the choice of withdrawal. It is designed to push you into marriage. And that is why a lot of people get it wrong, because you are now pushed into, by the time you now see where you are going to, that this is not suitable, you are already courting, which is your pastor is already involved, your father is involved. So it puts you under that thing that you cannot withdraw.